Hello and welcome. My name is Thomas, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a membership site with your Twitch Vods or with any type of live streamed video content. Okay, so it seems in the last several years, live stream content has become central to our culture and to the way that we consume content. Seeing something live is just something that we are starting to adopt more readily, particularly amongst individuals. Now, for the longest time, we've had live broadcasts with things like news or a number of other things that we used to get via cable. But thanks to the internet and thanks to just about everybody being able to have a platform on the internet, it's made live streaming much simpler. So we've seen this through a number of platforms and a lot of people becoming popular on those platforms, and one of those platforms is Twitch. Now, if you're not familiar with Twitch, essentially it's a gaming live stream platform. It's where people go and they play games and then they live stream it to their audience. Now, gaming aside, a number of other platforms have become really popular too. Of course, we all know of YouTube. We're currently on YouTube right now, which has live streaming of a wide variety. Again, it's not necessarily just gaming on YouTube. You're going to have politics, you're going to have news, you're going to have people just going out and doing different things or exploring various areas. Now, while in this particular video, I'm going to be focusing specifically on how to create a membership site with your Twitch Vods, just know that if you're not a gamer, if you're not on Twitch, then that doesn't mean that this won't apply to you as well. The concept that we're going to be exploring in this video, in essence, is taking the videos or the kind of the library of live streams that you've created and creating a membership site, a paid membership site around that content. Now, you might be wondering, why is this something that we would even want to explore? Now, here's how this typically works. You go live. Let's say maybe you've got a weekly show or something that you're doing live, or again, if you're on Twitch, you go maybe 3 days a week, you're going and you're doing like a 3 or 4 hour live stream or something like that. Well, at the time, you're going to have a collection of viewers. People are going to be sitting there watching you live, and then maybe a number of other people couldn't catch you live, and so maybe they'll go a little bit later on and they'll scroll through your profile and through your archived videos, also known as Vods on Twitch, if you're not familiar with Twitch, and going through and watching those replays. Now, part of the problem with a platform like Twitch is that for a lot of streamers, they're only going to store your video, your Vods, for approximately 14 days, and I think it can get up to as many as 60. But the problem with that, obviously, is one, they're going to be disappearing over time. But number two, it's just kind of an untapped potential. You're going in every day or maybe once a week or several times a week, you're creating these live broadcasts that, again, people are watching they're watching live. But what about those people who would be willing to pay you a subscription to go and to view the entire backlog of all the videos that you've created? So again, maybe you're not a Twitch streamer, maybe you're a YouTube streamer, maybe you stream on something like Facebook, and maybe once a week you do like a video lesson on a particular topic and you've got plenty of people there who are watching you live. But maybe you have a number of other people who want a single library, a place that they can go to access a growing collection of all the videos that you're creating on a regular basis. So beyond just creating a house or a library of all the content that you're so painstakingly creating, it's also an extra revenue stream. Part of the problem with people who are on this platform, even YouTube, or who are on Facebook, or who are on Twitch, is they're relying solely upon those platforms for their monetary income. Essentially, a lot of that, not only are they reliant upon the actual platform to be paid, but they're also reliant on ads. And we all know how all of us feel about ads. Pretty much nobody likes them. And yes, the irony is not lost on me that there's ads on this channel, but the idea remains the same. Essentially, having a platform or having a site that houses all of your content that you own and control, and that has all of your past content housed on it, can be an excellent way to produce extra revenue and make it simple and easy for your audience to find all of those broadcasts that you've created throughout the years. Okay, and one final aside before we get into the actual tutorial part of this video, one of the things that I will be noting, since this process and since a lot of the things that I'll be exploring are fairly entailed in the process to go through to get each of them up and running, I won't be covering all of them in detail in this video, because if I did, it would probably be like an hour long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you links to other videos, tools, and resources that you would need to do everything that we're talking about in this particular video. I'm just going to give you the bird's eye view, the basics, so that you understand the concept and what we're trying to do here today. Okay, so first things first, I've just got a blank install of WordPress. What I'm going to be working within this particular video is a theme that I've created by the name of Notable Press. And if you want to check that out, you can just head on over to notable.press/Thomas. And then you can actually get access to it right here. We've got the pricing, and we do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you would just want to test this out, feel free. And if it doesn't work for you, get a refund, no problem at all. But it does have all the features packed in, everything that you would need to be able to actually sell memberships to your audience, and everything we'll be exploring in this video. Okay, but once I have Notable Press and I've got my website up and running, or my blank install of WordPress, I'm just going to jump on over to Appearance, click Add New under Themes, upload new theme, and then I'm going to drag this over, click Install Now, and it's going to start the process of installing, and then I'm just going to click Activate. Once I click Activate, it's going to take me to this Start Setup screen, and essentially this is just going to start the process of helping me getting up and running with this site. So I'm going to give the site a name, I'm going to upload a logo, and you don't have to use a logo if you don't want to. You can just allow your name to kind of be the logo, that sort of thing. I'm going to give this a tagline, so I am a designer and developer. And we'll just toss another one in there too, content creator. And then I want to give this a headline. Just what is it that I do? What is the problem that I'm solving for the people who are visiting the site? Just going to go ahead and paste in some placeholder text there. Then I'm going to check this box to make sure that I make it so that everybody, anyone can create an account. Pop in a nice little profile picture here. Give that a moment to upload. Click Insert, and then click Next Step. Now in the next step is where we're actually going to be able to begin the preliminary process of actually deciding how this is actually going to look. So we're going to be able to pick a primary color here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick just kind of this bluish color. And I'm going to, based within this theme or this membership framework that we're going to be looking at, you can pick whether or not it defaults to dark mode. Your users actually can toggle between light mode and dark mode. And then we get to pick a font for the headline and then for the body copy. So we can actually just click this link and pick any font that we want throughout the entire Google Fonts library, and all of these will work. So I'm going to go ahead and just pick from the display fonts. You do want to make sure that you find, even for your headline fonts, you want to make sure that they're nice and readable. And then you want to just copy the title of it. We'll paste that in there for the headline font. And then I'm just going to go ahead and keep that font as the body typeface. Then we get to pick a background image. So I'm just going to go to a site called Pexels, and we'll just go ahead and do pick a nice computer screen. That should work. We'll go ahead and download the large version of that. Select image and then insert that into this option. Okay, so I picked a color, defaulted it to dark mode, pick the typefaces. I'm going to keep the rounded corners at 3. I'm going to click Next Step. Now from here is where we would typically enter in all of our social links. So you could do like links to your Twitch or your YouTube. So I could do like and then we can pick an icon to represent it. So we're going to click that link. It's going to take us to the Font Awesome icon library. I'm going to go and type in YouTube, copy the icon code, paste it in there, and you can do up to 5. And then we're just going to click next step. From here, you're going to want to make sure that you enter in the license key that you got at the time of checkout. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so now I've activated it. It's going to take me on to the next step. And then from here, we've got a number of different integrations that we can work in. I'm not going to go through all of these right now. You want to enter in your YouTube API key. And or your Twitch API key. What this is going to do is once you go live on YouTube, this is going to put your live stream on the front page. It's going to embed it along with your chat. Same thing is going to happen if you do Twitch. It's going to embed your live stream along with your chat. We're not going to cover that in this video. Like I said, there's going to be a link below that will walk you through each of these. But you're just going to want to make sure you enter in that information. So I'm going to go ahead and click next step. Same thing if you want to integrate with ConvertKit's API, which is an email marketing service that we recommend to grow your email list. You want to enter that in along with your Stripe publishable and secret key. Again, we're going to cover this in one of the resources below. I'm not going to go too in depth because the process requires setting up a Stripe account. Really easy to do, but again, we're just gonna kind of skip through that for the time being. Okay, so this is gonna take us to the last step. Again, I've kind of skipped through some of the steps that are outlined here. Again, there's gonna be a video training series that I'm gonna link below that walks you through every single one of these steps in detail. But what we're going to do, so we're just going to click finish. You'll see we're going to give this a moment and it's going to automatically generate our site for us. So it's going to have that headline for us. It's going to have a spot it's got our membership link. It's got a learn more link, which tells a little bit more. It shows my image, says about me, my link to my YouTube, and a spot where I can enter in information. So you already see here it's looking pretty sharp in terms of what you would want this to look like. But we're just going to, for this particular site example, we're going to walk through the process now of actually getting and adding the video content and creating a membership that people can purchase. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need for this concept to work is the actual video files themselves. So since we're using Twitch and Twitch Vods for this particular video tutorial, what you're going to want to do is that you make sure whatever you're using to stream, best case scenario, you want to make sure that you are actually downloading or recording what you are live streaming. So let's take a quick look at OBS so I can show the exact setting that you would want to use if you were using OBS to do your streaming. So here's OBS. I have this set up right here. This is a pretty standard setup, but as you'll be able to see here, you've got two options with OBS. Most of the time, once you've got OBS all up and running, you'll click Start Streaming. What you want to do is make sure that you also click Start Recording so that OBS saves a video file that you can use while you're streaming. Now, if for whatever reason, maybe your computer setup isn't powerful enough to do both, what you can also do is you can use a tool like Downy. I've created a video that actually walks through how to use it and actually download Twitch's saved versions of your VODs. You can use the exact same tool to download videos from YouTube because, as you well know, as you are streaming on a platform like YouTube, they save for any number of time. They will actually save those video streams as well. But with something like Twitch, since for most people it's only going to last 14 days, you want to make sure that right after you're done streaming, you use a tool to download that video file. Regardless of what method you use, you just want to make sure that you get a hold of the actual best quality video version possible that you can get. So if you can record it directly to your computer, that's the best case scenario because you're going to get the nicest video quality. Second best would be downloading using a tool like Downy or something that downloads directly from that site. Third would be actually using the downloading tool from the site itself. Sometimes they compress the video file to make the size really small, and it ends up getting kind of pixely and not looking so great. So you want to start out with the best possible quality that you can get of the actual video file of the live recording that you're creating. Next, what we're going to want to do is get a free video tool called Handbrake. And this is, like I said, free, and it's also available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. And this tool is going to take our video files, convert them to ensure that they're in a format that's going to be read by the most number of browsers possible. So this is really important, and I'll leave a link below on how to get that. Okay, so once I have Handbrake up and running, it's going to ask for specific video files. Now, for the sake of this example, all I've done is I've gone ahead and I have just downloaded some of my Rightly TV YouTube videos, obviously. What you would want to download instead are the individual Twitch VODs that you're going to be using to create your membership site. But again, this is just for the sake of this example. So I have the video file. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Handbrake, and I'm just going to drag over one of the video files that I want to convert. Then what I want to make sure that I do is I put in here, I want to do fast 1080p, sorry, at 30 frames per second, but you can change this to whatever you want. So there's a number of different selections here. General, you could probably just do fast, and you can just keep that at 30 frames per second. If you have, for whatever, something that is 60 frames per second, so if you are doing a stream that's 60 frames per second and you want to retain that, then you probably want to go in here and save a new custom preset. But for most of us, we're just going to keep that at 1080p, 30 frames per second. And we want to make sure that this is an MP4 file. The next thing we want to do is make sure that we check the button that says Web Optimize. This is going to ensure that it uses a codec that's going to be read by most browsers. Then what you're going to do is just click Start. And before we click Start, if you want to, you can click on the queue and add multiple files to this so that you kind of do this in a batch if you want to. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that these are saved. This is being saved to my movies folder. I actually just want that to be saved to my desktop. So I'm going to change that. Then I'm going to click Start. Okay, so once we have all of the video files converted and ready for web, now we need to house these. We need a home for these, and we do not want to house them directly on our website because they're pretty big files. As you can see, 175 megabytes. We want to make sure that we actually find a host, a place on the internet for these video files to live that's going to be a little bit more affordable and prepared for the type of bandwidth it's going to require to actually stream video. So I recommend a service called Backblaze B2, and I have actually, let's see if we can go to B2. Yep, I've actually created a video, again, going to be linked below, that actually shows you how to go through and set up this video. Again, so I'm not going to go through that whole video here. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and go through the process of that I outline in that the other video specific to B2. I'll just do transmit. And I use a third-party client called Transmit to actually connect to my Backblaze B2 account. And then what I would do is I would just take all of these video files and I would just upload them to this particular B2 account. So this is going to take a little bit of time to actually go through the process of uploading. I already do, however, have one video uploaded already, so we'll just kind of use that as our example. So what I'm going to do, and again, if you're using the web interface, they're going to have a public-facing link that you're going to want to use. But in this particular client that I'm using called Transmit, I can just copy the URL. And this is essentially the public place on the web where that video file lives. So now on my membership site, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to New, I'm going to go to Post. I'm going to give this a nice title. Can give it a short description if I want to, or I can leave it blank. And this is just placeholder text. Then we're going to click over on the right-hand side. We're going to click Video. And then it's going to have, or I clicked Audio. We want to click Video. Self-hosted video URL. And then we're going to just paste that in there. Looks like it got the wrong link. That's okay. Let's refresh. There we go. Looks like it got the correct URL now. So you'll want to make sure that starts with HTTPS. So it's actually pulling in the correct information. Then we could give it a category. We'll just say this is our Twitch VODs. Any tags we wanted to as well. We haven't created any membership options yet, so we'll just leave that as is. And then we'll go ahead and we'll click Publish. One of the last things that we'll also want to do as well, which I forgot to mention, is we'll want to set a featured image. So let's pick a nice photo. Again, you can use something, you can just use a screenshot of the video, or you can pick something off of Pexels or something like that. and then click update. Then when we view the post, you'll be able to see it's got the title, it's got the category, it's got the date, and then a nice little buttons that just activates the nice little video player. And so there you go. You see the video starts playing just as you would imagine. Let's go ahead and close that. Okay, so now we've successfully added a piece of content to this site. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit now about how to start organizing everything. So we've got this headline. This is our front page. We've got kind of our latest Twitch VOD up here. And then this is going to be like our trending content. And then we've got like these content rows. So we've got a nice call to action telling people, you know, they can get instant access to everything. You can go through and change any of the content here, again, outlined in the video series that's linked below. But then you see we've got these kind of rows, similar to what you would see on like a Netflix, right? So you've got like this title right here, a see more. So you can create as many of these rows as you want. And so what I would recommend is maybe create a separate row for each of the different types of topics that you cover. So maybe there's a specific game you stream. Put all the streams that are specific to one game in this row, and then maybe another game in this row, or however you want to organize your content, you can do that. But as I mentioned, this is a membership site. So if we click on Start Now, you'll see that when we went through the initial setup process, it created this nice, pretty simple membership page for us. And so here's what I would recommend from a marketing perspective is I would create a free tier, which would give access to maybe some of your video content. And then I would create a monthly and a yearly plan that people can pay you to get access to everything. So let's go ahead and let's edit this page. Again, setting all of the particulars of this up will be in that video series that I'm going to have linked below. So again, you'll see me kind of skipping ahead a little bit here as we go through here. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll on down to where it says page options, and I'm going to start to edit a number of these things. So first I'm going to go to package 2. We're going to keep that at monthly. And let's say that maybe you just want this to be $5 a month to get access to everything. Then what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and select a product that I've set up that's $5 a month reoccurring in Stripe. Stripe, if you're not familiar with it, is a payment processing platform. Very affordable. They just charge, I think it's 2.9% plus 5 cents per every transaction, so pretty good. And then we're just going to do, I've created one called Club Notable. So, and this is going to be billed monthly. There we go. And then I'm going to do a yearly one, and let's say that that one is just going to be, let's say it's $49 a year. So we've got a monthly version, and then we have a yearly version, and I'm selecting that Stripe product that I have connected to this theme. We're going to click update, and then we're going to click view the page, and we'll see that the price has changed. It's got some sample features in there that people will have access to. But again, it's connected to Stripe now, so somebody can just click on buy now, and it's going to take them to Stripe secure checkout to actually purchase and then gain access to that particular piece of content. Now, for you as the content creator, you get to go in and start the process of organizing what content people have access to. So here's this little sample video post, and we're just going to pretend this is one of our Twitch VODs, and we're going to click on edit post. Let's say that we want everybody who has a free account to have access to this. So they've provided their first name and email address and have created an account. So this is going to be open to free users. So we're going to click restricted to logged in users. In essence, you would have to create an account to be logged in. So that's going to be for free members only. But then let's say that we wanted somebody to go in here, and let's say that this piece of content you have to pay for. You have to have a paid membership in order to gain access to this particular Twitch VOD. So what we want to do is we're going to go back up to edit post once we're in here. And we've got this list of products that have been connected to, again, created in Stripe. So we're going to click Club Notable to signify that you have to have a active paid membership to that particular plan in order to have access to it. And then what you'll see here is it's got this nice little lock icon that shows up in the top left-hand corner. So let's say that somebody was visiting your website for the first time. This is similar to how it would look. And so what we see here, it looks pretty much the same. It's got that same lock icon. However, you'll see here if they go in and they click play video, it's going to scroll them down to this little message that says that this content is exclusive to our members. Simply click the button below to sign up and gain instant access. And again, yes, you can change all of the text that shows up here. They're going to click on this button, however, and then it's going to take them to that payment page where then they will be able to either sign up for free, and again, free would only be giving them access to specific types of content, or a monthly or a yearly membership, and again, that's just going to connect to Stripe. And then of course, all the content that you upload would be sortable by what is the latest. You could also even sort this by what is trending. People would also be able to search as well. So, oops, help if I would spell that right. So we'll go through here again. There we go. And then people would be able to search content as well. So you could create this massive growing library of content that people could comment on, that you could create a community for, that you could monetize and own and control. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully this gets you thinking of some ways that you can take maybe some of the VODs or past content that you've live streamed and how you can start to leverage that to be a library that you can use not only to serve your audience, but also to help produce some income on a platform that you own and control. After all, you're the one creating the content, so why shouldn't you have complete control over it? So I know we did a bird's eye view. There were a lot of things I skipped over or rushed through, mainly because I wanted to just share the concept with you, get you thinking about how you can actually create your own platform with your content, create a membership site that gives people access to what they want without having to rely on a tech giant to make it possible. So like I mentioned, I'm going to leave a bunch of links below to all the details that we didn't have the time to fill in this video. So notable press training videos, how you can get up and running with Backblaze B2, Handbrake, all the tools and the resources that you need to accomplish the concept of what we talked about in this video, you're going to find below. So as always, if you found this video helpful or useful, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hey, so I get asked all the time how I make my videos, so I decided to put together for you a free 1-hour training, which I'm calling the 7 Pillars of Effective Video. Again, this is totally free, so click the box in the top right-hand corner of this video. You can also head on over to rightly.tv/training. Again, this is totally free. Head on over to rightly.tv/training.